Andy, we keep getting a lot of negative comments about electric cars from customers and stuff. Is it alright if I just run some past you? Okay, so some of the ones that we've been asked, are electric cars really expensive?
They can be. So, everybody thinks about the Tesla, which is £100,000.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you're really, really, really extreme, you can get cars in our scheme from just over £100 a month. It's called a Renault Twizy. You have to be a bit balmy. It's not much bigger than this. It seats 2 people. It looks like a bobsleigh on wheels. But, for some people...
It might suit them.
Yeah, so if people are into motorbikes and things like that, it might suit them. More realistically, if you look at something like your typical family car, so look at something like a Focus or something like that, a top-of-the-range Focus would cost you about £30,000.
Yeah.
And for that kind of money, you can get a VW Golf, e-Golf, which does 170 miles between charges. You can get a Kia Niro, which does about 260 miles between charges. A Hyundai Kona, which again will do the same kind of thing. So there's lots and lots of affordable cars coming out that do quite heavy mileage. When I say mileage, I mean kind of 250 miles between charges. Better still, if you couple them with our scheme, the savings are absolutely huge. So a diesel Golf, just to give you an example, if you were to lease one with no deposit, everything included but fuel, it'll probably cost you well over £400 a month. The electric version is £300, plus it'll only cost you about £7 a month to run from an electric perspective, as opposed to £100 a month worth of diesel.
What about range anxiety? Are the charging points is there more or?
Okay, I absolutely get this. As somebody who used to have a Leaf, one of the first Leafs that came out, I absolutely get this. So range anxiety used to be a real concern. Nowadays, like I say, you can get the new Leaf does 240 miles between charges, a 64 kilowatt one. So when do you ever do more than that? I do 30,000 miles a year and probably 2 or 3 days a month. I may do more than 240 miles. And on those days, I always pull over at Starbucks. Always pull over at motorway services, yeah. And if I pull over at services, they've always got those white boxes with a green Union Jack on the eco-tricity pumps.
Yeah.
I can charge at one of those, 45 minutes, get another 100 plus miles in my car. So realistically, I wouldn't say it's a thing of the past, because you don't have the reassurance that you're only 5 minutes away from a petrol station. You've got to plan a little bit more in advance, although your car will normally do that for you. Most electric cars will plan when you need to charge. But actually, you've got more infrastructure and less inconvenience than a petrol or diesel, because every day you just jump out onto your drive, go into your car, it's fully defrosted, and it's already got 240 miles ready to go. So I'd say it's not quite a thing of the past, but
it's getting there.
It's absolutely getting there.
Okay. What sort of models are available? What are the lead times on them?
Okay, so lead times are an issue. So lots of people, we go to conferences all the time, as you know, and you've heard people, as I have, say there's not enough demand, people don't want these. And when I ordered my next car, which is an e-Niro, they announced how many very important, which is about 1,000 on a Thursday, and opened the order book. I ordered mine on Friday, and by Tuesday lunchtime they'd all gone. So people are clamouring for these, and my car will take about 6-7 months to arrive. Some, like the Kona, the new Hyundai Kona, is going to take about a year to arrive. You can get some Nissan Leafs. There's some Nissan Leaf stock about today. If you're not too choosy, you can get reasonably priced stock cars. Probably I'd say within 4 to 5 months. There are some stock around if you do need it, but there is some stuff coming 4 to 5 months away, so it's not terrible. And you can get cars, like I say, from your £20,000 Renault Zoe up to your £100,000 Teslas, and there's lots more products coming out. Literally every week there's more product coming out in this space.
How do you charge the car?
Okay, so most of our customers charge at home. I'd say most of our customers tend to do it. So if you've got a drive or garage at home, we'll give you a free charge point, provided you go on an external wall. We haven't got to do any digging. And that means when you get to your car, you've got 250 miles pretty much ready to go, depending on what car you choose. An e-Golf's a bit lower, it's about 170, but most cars are about 250 miles. When you get about 50 miles away from your destination, you might want to think about recharging if you're going to make a journey back. Yeah. Like I say, every motorway service in the UK apart from one has the white boxes with green Union Jack on the eco-tricity pumps. You just install an app on your phone, you pay to charge, but significantly less than diesel or petrol to charge it. In fact, charging at home, it'll cost you around about £2 to do 240 miles, and that's without negotiating particularly hard with your energy supplier. If you deviate off the motorway network, Then Tesco's have just announced they're putting 600 charge points in. Marston's pubs are putting loads of pubs in, as a Green and King. The amount of charge points increased by 27% last year, and there's more and more coming all the time.
What if I don't have a drive at my house? How am I supposed to charge my car then?
Okay, so it depends. If you're fortunate enough to have a scheme through us, through your employer, for every 3 electric cars you have, we'll put a charge point in at your work. So again, take you as an example, Jordan. So I know you've got a drive, but you can very, very rarely get on it. So you're 8 miles away from the office?
Yeah.
So you could drive to the office, charge at the office, go home, you'll still have another 230 miles left in your car. And then at the weekend, if you need to, you could go to the services, which I think are about 5 minutes away from you, and charge there. Or you could go into Tamworth, and there's a couple of places in Tamworth where you can charge as well. So there's lots of public charge points. Now the key thing to bear in mind is some of these charge points you do need a separate card for, so we can help you with that if you take a car. You may need to get a charge your car card and an eco-tricity card. And some charge points charge your car a lot faster than others. So by me, for example, I live just north of Lichfield. I can charge at the local car park, which is a fast charge, and it will give me about 100 miles in about an hour. Or I can charge at Waitrose, which is slow charge, and if I take an hour to do some shopping, I'll get maybe 13 miles. Not brilliant, but it's free, or effectively free. Okay. So you just need to bear in mind what charge rates they are when you're using it. But again, we give all of our customers help with all of that, now that works.
Okay, and say I was going on a holiday for like 2 weeks and needed like a 7-seater or something, how could my electric car wouldn't work then?
Okay, well you already know the answer to this one, don't you? So we have something in our scheme called Electric Flex, and it was brought out in demand to one of our very first customers, who's a customer in the northeast of England, where they have fantastic charging infrastructure, and they got a particularly great deal on Nissan Leafs through us. So loads of our employees took Nissan Leafs, but lots of our employees have particularly football mad sons who go to Wales for football tournaments and then disappear down to Cornwall for a couple of weeks. So we have something called Electric Flex, where basically you can swap your electric car for a set amount of time each year for a big diesel or petrol, even a people carrier if you need more space, and then just give it back when you're finished with it. So it's the best of both worlds. It suits you absolutely perfectly.
Great. No, that's everything, thanks.
Okay, so I think we'll probably, if people want to send in questions, we'll probably do this every couple of months or so with questions that people send in, just so we can obviously dispel some more of the myths and help you make an informed decision if electric cars are the right thing for you.